Have you ever stared at your ministry calendar and thought, there is no way we can do all this, but I also don't know what to cut? That's pressure. And it's one of the most common ministry tensions that I see and that we've all probably lived multiple times. You're leading a church, right? You've got dreams and vision and momentum, but then the reality hits. There's not enough money for all those dreams and vision, not enough volunteers. There's definitely not enough time. And here's the hard part, your congregation, they just want more. And they've got lots of great ideas. It's easy to assume that scarcity is the enemy. It is so easy to believe if we just had more, or you look at that church down the street, if we just had what they had, that if you were doing the right things, things wouldn't feel so tight. But what if scarcity, and this is a kind of big idea, but what if scarcity isn't a problem? What if it's actually the strategic filter that you've been missing? If you're listening, please understand, right? I absolutely know how this feels. I was a lead pastor for 13 years, been in ministry for 20. I've been coaching pastors and consulting with churches for a long time, right? You want to reach more people. I know that. You want to disciple better. You want to develop leaders. You want to cast vision, but you're stuck in this cycle of responding to what's urgent instead of what's important. The church has a real unique way of forcing that on us, doesn't it? And when the resources don't match the dreams, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes guilt can actually kind of creep in. It's like an internal voice that says, shouldn't we be able to do more? Why does everything feel so limited? If I were better at fill in the blank. But here's the truth. Scarcity shouldn't make you feel ashamed. Scarcity is really a signal. It's not proof that you're failing. It's the permission you need to prioritize. Let's take a minute and kind of reframe scarcity. In economics, scarcity is what creates value. Did you know that? Limited supply forces important choices while raising prices. The same is true in ministry, except the price part. The most effective churches aren't doing everything. They're doing the right things with the resources that are available to them. So how can you apply this in your church? Let me give you just this simple kind of 3-question audit that you can ask yourself or sit with your lead team or some key volunteers, your elders. I use these with churches that I coach. Okay, 3 simple questions to help you audit the economics. Number 1, what is taking up the most time, money, or energy right now? So what's taking up the most time, the most money, or energy right now? And be honest, don't filter. List everything. I mean, does it directly move the mission forward? That's a good question. Number 2, does it directly move the mission forward? It's not, is it either a distraction or a drain, right? It's not binary. Everything is nuanced. Ask the question of every single thing that you're doing. Does it directly move the mission forward? And if I were to back up just for a second, if you were to discover what something, maybe one thing or a couple of things that are taking up the most time and money and energy, and then ask, does that thing move our mission forward? That's a pretty clarifying group of questions. Let me add a third, though. If we had to cut 25% of our church calendar tomorrow, what would we cut first? I'll tell you what this question does. It really reveals what's kind of peripheral and what's essential. You may find that there are lots of things you're doing that are not necessarily essential. Now, if you really want to go deep, you can start asking, why are we doing it? Why is this a legacy program that we're still keeping around? Are we afraid to hurt someone's feelings? And we're prioritizing that over the mission. I mean, those are harder questions, but we'll get to those another time. Here's kind of the flip side of this. What could you do better if you stopped doing those things that are not essential? What deserves more resources? That's a great question. More of your team's best energy, not leftover time. What deserves more resources that just isn't getting what it really deserves because it's so critical to your discipleship pathway or to your mission? I mean, we can let scarcity really be a ministry highlighter, not a ministry stop sign. So here's the challenge this week. I would love for you to consider gathering your staff together, top volunteers, just that group of people that you trust that's helping you think strategically. Run through those three questions together. Let me give them to you one more time, okay? Number one, what's taking up the most time, money, or energy right now? Does it directly move the mission forward? And if we had to cut 25% of our church calendar tomorrow, what would we cut first? So run through those three questions with that group of people. And here's a hard one, but a really important one. Let everyone wrestle honestly with what's worth keeping and what's quietly holding you back. Very practically, here's how I would encourage you to do it. Here's how I do it when I work with churches. I ask us, the church, as I facilitate the conversation, let's write everything down that we're doing, or let's just bring a printout of our calendar for the year and let's lay it out on a table and let's make sure everything we're doing is on it. That's a great first step because it's kind of hard to evaluate what's working and what's not if you don't really know all the things you're doing. And by the way, most churches don't know all the things they're doing, especially if you're a senior pastor. You can easily get removed from some of those details. So lay it all out. What are all the things that we're doing? Once you've identified that, then you can let people wrestle honestly with what's worth keeping and what might be holding you back, but let them do it individually. Give them 30 minutes to kind of maybe put like a priority 1, 2, and 3 on every single thing they're doing. 1 is essential to 3. It's kind of completely unessential. And then 2, of course, in the middle, we like it. It kind of helps, but it might not be essential. Let everybody grade individually, and then let's put all those grades together and let's see where some of that conversation leads you. It'll be a fascinating experiment, but it will lead to clarity. And here's the deal, right? And you know this, this is kind of uncomfortable, especially at first, right? But on the other side of this, you're going to be able to lead with so much more clarity and confidence. Because this isn't just about doing less, it's about doing what matters most with purpose, on purpose. And that's really how pressure can be turned into progress, right? If you want to kind of help building us, well, if you want to, maybe have some help around this, you can do a lot of this on your own, but it's hard to facilitate and participate at the same time. I've learned that the hard way. And so I come in and help churches all the time do this. One of the things that I offer is a leadership lab. Now I do digital versions of leadership labs where, 8 to 10 pastors gather with me several times over the course of a month or two, and we dig deep into one topic. But I also do in-person leadership labs. Those are kind of think of it like a workshop or a retreat. We can do a day or 2 days where we dig deep into some things that could be holding you and your church back. So really think of it as a strategy session that I get to lead so you don't have to. So if that's of any help to you, please just let me know. You can go to gavinadams.com to learn more about it and shoot me an email, gavin@gavinadams.com, if you want to learn more about that. Last kind of thing, we'll end with this. You don't need more resources to lead well. And I know you think that would make everything easier, but I'm here to tell you from experience, more resources doesn't fix all the problems. In fact, more resources typically leads to doing more things, which just creates more problems. And when you have to start undoing some of those things because 25% of it isn't necessary, it's a lot harder when you've added a lot more to the calendar. I mean, the more resources you have, it isn't making things easier. It actually can make things more complicated. So you don't need more resources to lead well. What you need is the courage to lead on purpose with what you have. Hey, thanks for joining me for the Pressure Pod. Until next time.